And the mask mandate, presidential nominee Joe Biden has one big COVID plan.
Individual states like New York and California are already hiring and training thousands of tracers. But we need to do more, including hiring at least 100,000 federally funded workers to perform contact tracing and other public health tasks. And they should begin to be trained now.
And they are being trained by the thousands to track your whereabouts and who you've been in contact with using apps and person-to-person interviews. Tracers are essentially health snoops. They're recording all your interactions. Now, this is a tracer trainer in Houston.
There's been plenty of people who have broke down and cried because they thought they were going to lose their jobs. And they don't want to give any kind of information that we don't already have in our hands.
Now, liberal governors and mayors have mostly waved off privacy concerns. They've not only embraced the tracing regimen, but they've taken enforcement of their health orders a step further. Hogan in Maryland and Bashar of Kentucky set up hotlines to rat out neighbors.
Those who are not in compliance with our state orders, this is a call that can allow government to know, to make sure that we know what you know.
LA Mayor Garcetti was even more explicit.
You know the old expression about snitches? Well, in this case, snitches get rewards. We want to thank you for turning folks in and making sure we are all safe.
Turning folks in. That snitch mindset has now hit universities across America. To return to campus, many college students are being required to sign contracts with their schools promising to abide by new COVID requirements. Mask wearing, social distancing, eating alone in some cases, routine testing, no overnight dorm parties, nothing. Violators face suspension or expulsion. But how do they enforce the COVID contracts on campus? Enter the wellness ambassadors.
TU Public Health Ambassadors are volunteer students, faculty, and staff who will model and monitor physical distancing practices.
The university is encouraging all of our students to abide by the COVID guidelines. And sometimes we may have to enforce some of these guidelines if people do not abide by them. We also have our wellness support ambassadors who will check for compliance at the entrances of all of our buildings and our classrooms.
The wellness support ambassador will check your papers at the library and before every class. That's right. You pay $50 to $60, some cases $80,000 a year to have your kids basically enter what is now a Soviet-style People's Republic of Education, where their peers are encouraged to spy on them and turn them over to administrators. You might call it Snitch You. If you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. Now, bear in mind, most of these universities require all returning students to take COVID tests before they can even enter campus. Columbia is recruiting student ambassadors to help police the student body. The University of Miami is paying $10 an hour for their public health ambassadors, and they're not alone. A slew of colleges are training health minders and loosing them on the student bodies. At my alma mater, NYU, students are instructed to confront anyone not wearing a mask or social distancing and, quote, if the person persists in not complying or responds confrontationally, you should not pursue the matter face-to-face. Instead, report fellow student non-compliance. These universities are not playing around.
We need people to adopt healthful behaviors immediately. And I can tell you, we're going to pull out all the stops from the research evidence. And also, we're going to have a high level of expectation that folks in the community will respond to our guidance. The threshold will be very, very low, and we'll be holding people accountable.
The question, which we will explore shortly with experts as well as a Texas student, is this. What effect do these university COVID student spy rings have on community cohesiveness? Does it undermine the academic and personal freedom young people need for growth intellectually and socially? And are our institutions of higher education, no matter what they're calling these kids, health ambassadors, forcing all students to major in practical snitching?